It all out.
Welcome to AP Workshops. Welcome to another one of our little tech tip thingies. This is a situation that we see a lot. This is how to tie your bike down properly in a van. So welcome back to AP Workshops. This is how to tie your bike down in a van properly. Okay, right, so basically just for the purpose and just basically to keep this bike a little bit stable, so for the purpose of demonstrations, I think is the proper phrase, what we've got is we've got one of these wheel chocks that you can buy from eBay. I think this one cost me about 80 quid. These are brilliant, but the same, if you like, the same kind of technique or the same method that we're going to show you actually applies whether you've got this or not. The only difference being, obviously, once this bike is in the van, it would be sat on its side stand, okay, and pushed up against the bulkhead. So we've just got the bike in a chock just so we can hold it upright, so it doesn't look so it just looks a bit cleaner. But we've got basically this method that we're going to help on. We're going to show you, we're going to share with you. So effectively what I'd like to see you to do, if you've got one of these wheel chocks, push the wheel chocks right up against the bulkhead. If you haven't got a wheel chock, push the front wheel right up against the bulkhead so the bike cannot roll any further forward. Like I said, just for the purposes of demonstration, this one means that we're just going to just use a wheel chock. So there's two main types of straps that we can use. There's one type called a ratchet strap, which means it's got this kind of ratchet mechanism on it. And then we've got one here, which is the one that we use in our van here, which is known as a friction strap, which has a push button here, which allows us to move and stop it from moving. So just for the, like I said, I'm going to do both methods just so you can see what's going on, because the ratchet strap method is just basically a little bit more involved. There's a little bit more to it, but this is the trick. The trick is to have your bike on the side stand if you've not got a wheel chock, and the front wheel pushed up against the bulkhead. Always put either the ratchet or the friction strap locking mechanism close to the floor as possible. Okay, close to the floor as possible, and what we're going to do is use the strap around the handlebar to actually pull it down into a corner. So what we're going to do is pull the handlebar down into a corner on that side, and then we're going to pull the handlebar down into a corner on that side. So we've got the bike on the side stand, the front tyre up against the bulkhead, the strap in one corner and the strap in another corner, and this is how I'd like you to do it. So a little bit of a backstory. So we've got a little bit of a backstory on this one. There was basically one of my previous jobs was I was an AA patrol, and I met a guy called Big Al, and his name was, and he was an enormous relay driver. He was a big lad. I'm not sure he was like 6'8". He was about 5'6", but he was equally as round as he was high. But he was a lovely guy. Moaned a lot, like a lot of relay drivers do. But and any relay drivers out there watching this will know exactly that. But basically, Big Al showed us this method in many years ago. It sounds like a birth control method, but it's not Big Al's method. But this was the method that he showed me, which absolutely revolutionised the way I do things. So what he said to do was, and I think let's just try and see if we can get a bit of a close-up of this one. Okay, so like I said, it does sound a bit like a method of birth control, but it isn't. Big Al's method, this is what he showed me how to do. So he showed me how to make a loop that wasn't going to damage any grips, wasn't going to pull on anything or damage anything in any way, shape or form. So what he showed me to do was this. He showed me to push the strap through the loop and make a loop. So basically that then pulls down onto the handlebars. If you follow me up, and I'll show you on this one, look. Like that. And pull it tight. That keeps it away from any fairings. It's only the nylon on the actual grip, so it doesn't feel anything, doesn't actually damage anything, doesn't make any cuts or damage or anything along those lines, and you've got plenty of clearance over the fairings. So we've got the strap hooked onto the bar. We've got the friction lock down by the hook and the front of the van. We've got the bike on a side stand and the front wheel pushed up against the bulkhead. Then we're just going to pull it tight like that. Pull it tight so it's just tilting this way slightly, or if you're on your side stand you're already there, no problems. Then we go around the other side, do exactly the same operation and pull the bike down till it's upright. So the whole point of the exercise is that we're not going to over tighten the bike till you're compressing the suspension completely. You just need to be able to give it some movement, but obviously you need to be able to make sure it's supported properly. If you have a look, that's more than adequate. We're not bottoming the suspension out in any way, shape or form, but the bike is absolutely secure. So like I said, once you're pulling it down, you put it down, pull it up to the bulkhead on the side stand, put your side stand or put your strap on the left hand side, you go round to the right hand side, okay, and then pull it down on the right hand side till the bike's upright. So you'll have 4 points, well, so 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact. So you'll have strap either side, you'll have your front wheel pushed up against the bulkhead, and you'll have your side stand on the floor of the van as well. We're going to do exactly the same again, but I'm going to show you a slightly different method using the ratchet straps. So this is basically a slightly different method. The friction straps are really, really easy, but a lot of people use ratchet straps. No problems, dead easy, but there's a little trick, and there's a couple of little things to remember when you're using the ratchet strap to tie your bike down. This is a nice little trick. So what we've got to do, remember, we're actually locked down at the front of the bulkhead. If you put the tumbler, so you've got the strap, it's easy to push the strap through. You said it's easy to push the strap through. There you go, like that. Pull it through all the way. The whole point is to not let this tumbler get bound up with too much strap. So pull it through like this. Okay, remember the method. Make your loop. So we're going to make our loop like this using the Big L method. Remember, this is not a valid form of contraception. Back up onto the handlebars. Like that. Okay, and what we've got, if you have a quick look back up here, if you have a quick look, so it means we've got no rolls on this at all. So effectively what we've got no rolls, so it's not going to get bound up. You're not leaving this loose. If you pull this nice and sort of this kind of tension, and then what you can do is open it out and ratchet it down. As long as you've got one full turn of strap on that tumbler, it's absolutely fine. Tighten that down. Okay, no problems. Same on the other side. Remember not to over torque, not to over tension the forks. And just to release these off, there's a little gate here. Pull the gate back, open it out, and it releases off without having to get all confused about. I mean, I'm sure we've all done it and we've all been there, but all of the sort of, when all the material's bound up in here, it does make life a little bit difficult for you. So remember, just as long as you've got one turn in there, that's absolutely fine. Like that. Same on the other side, no problems whatsoever. And then that's you sort of fixed down at the front. Okay, so that's it. Basically, the crux of it all is just making this little loop and knowing how to make that little loop. On a ratchet strap, not forgetting to get the whole thing sort of wound up and bound up. That makes your life an awful lot easier. 2 at the front, 2 at the back. Remember, if you get the opportunity to go at the back, use something like the rear footrest mount, something along those lines, which actually help pull the back subframe down. So 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and up at the bulkhead if you're in a chock. If you're on your side stand, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, your wheel up at the front and on the side stand. So the more points of contact you've got with something that's physically secure, the better. That's it. If you've got any questions, get in touch. No problems. We can talk to you via the telephone. We've got emails, which are sales@apworkshops.co.uk. You can get in touch with us via the Facebook page, via, like I said, there's emails, there's everything, all manner of social media. We're all there for you if you need anything. Don't forget to have a quick look at the website, www.apworkshops.co.uk. Take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you soon.